How's it going? I'm Sean Crandall from Crandall Fitness. This is going to be our how to build our new rack attachable lat pull down low row. First thing you need to know before you start, make sure your nameplate are on the holes down here. So it's going to be, the bottom one's going to be the hole below 52, and there's going to be a gap up here between this plate and the top. If you don't, it'll be too tall, and the back of your lat pull down, the frame is going to be going up in the air, and that's not going to work. So make sure you have it down here, and if not, take the bolts out. You can lower it down, put the bolts back in, and then we're good to go. All right, so the first step, we're going to build the base. It's going to be these pieces here, and the two little rubber gaskets that you're going to find in one of the bags. The bolts, the only bolts you're going to need for this are already on the pieces. So the rods have a bolt with a washer at each end already screwed into them, and the bolts you're going to need for the frame are already on here. Okay, so we don't have to worry about like finding bolts in the little stack. But the way you're going to want to do it is you're going to run the rods on the floor into here, through here, and these gaskets are going to go in the middle. So you're going to run this rod like this through the piece. Okay. Then you're going to put this on top, and then you're going to run it into the bottom. So you can go through here, and then you'll run the screw that's in the rod into the bottom. So when we get done with it, then we'll do a video of what it looks like at the end. Okay, so when it's all together, you have the two bolts down here, the bolts on the bottom, the rubber gaskets are going to be down here in between this thing that goes up and down and the metal. This piece, there's a piece of plastic here, you can see it separates. You're going to run it, you're going to unscrew this knob over here until you can see the metal screw come out. That way this can slide in. You'll pull this out as you slide that in. That'll be your adjustable foot plate. Okay, so we'll move on to the next part after this. All right, so the next step will be the frame that goes to the bottom of your power rack and the two plate horns. You're gonna need the 4 big 24mm bolts, and then you're gonna need these 4 little guys that have the flat Allen wrench side. So you're gonna need an Allen wrench to put these on. Remember, when you put these, you're gonna move this rubber gasket down, and you can see how it's matches up with the bolt. It's going to slide in like that. So the washer and the nut are going to go on the back side. So just make sure that's flush. That way you can bring the rubber gasket back down top of it. All right, so you're going to set it up like this. And also you're going to use all 6 of the big 24mm bolts, not just the 4. So what I do is I take the frame, I'm going to put it up here like this. I'm going to set it on. I'm going to drop the bolts in here to hand tighten it, and then I'm going to slide it up against the power rack. Now, you don't have to worry about if you have your cross members on the bottom, on the number 1 and number 4 holes, you don't have to worry about interference with this and the cross member. So it's going to bolt on, so you don't have to worry about taking anything off on your power rack. So we're going to put it together right now with the plate horns and then show you what it looks like afterwards. All right, so we have the base on, plate horns on. Now we're going to attach the top bracket. So you have this, you have these two bolts that don't have nuts that come with them, and these 2 little guys. The little dudes, they come off the top of this, they're screwed into the end of the guide rods. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, put it over the top of the nameplate, put the guide rods inside, right, and then you come up under here with the video, and you're gonna see there's 2 holes here. These 2 bolts, the longer ones, are gonna go from the bottom into this piece up here. It's already threaded, so you don't need nuts. So we'll take a picture of it and show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, the next step will be the 3 smaller pulleys. You're gonna want the 3 bolts that have like the nylon bushings, the plastic bushings. You're gonna notice on one side they have 2 washers. You're gonna have to take them all the way off. So there's 1 washer and 1 bushing on each side. So I'll show you on video the first one how we do it, and then we'll just do them and show you what it looks like when we're done. So I'll take the bolt off, right, the nut, everything off. Put 1 bushing back on. I'm gonna hold this inside the hole. Run the bolt through it, right with the bushing. Then you put the other bushing on this side, goes inside the hole, washer, and then nut. I don't ever tighten these all the way until I have all of the pulleys on, the 3 smaller and the 3 bigger, and then we'll go through and tighten them. So we'll take a picture when we're done. All right, so we're gonna run the cables next before we put the 6-inch pulleys in. So you're gonna have 2 cables. They're both gonna have the same ends on one side. One's gonna have this bolt on the other side, and one's gonna have this. The cable that has this is going to be attached to these, which attach to this. So you're going to attach the little short chain that comes with it with 2 of the carabiners, and then this is going to go to the other part. Okay? Then that cable is going to come up over the pulley system, I'll show you later, back down through this pulley and out the front. And then your other pulley, the other cable that has this piece, you're gonna wanna screw this down maybe 1/2 inch. So you have a 1/2 inch of threading. It's gonna thread here, but that's only gonna be after we run it up in the front, down inside the tube, down here, and then we're gonna leave a little bit of lag. It's gonna come over this 6-inch pulley, then down, and then we're gonna screw it in. So with the bolt, that cable is going to be your lap pull down bolt. The one with the little eyelet at the end for the chain is going to be the bottom one. So we're going to run them, and then we'll show you what it looks like. All right, whenever you run the cables over the top, instead of going inside of the 3x3, make sure you go over the top. So the cable's going to go up, come out of the top of this 3x3 upright, over, and it's going to come back down through this right here, and then you're going to weave it. So just remember that whenever you run this one, it's going to go over the top and not inside the hollow part of the 3x3 brace. It's going to go over the top on top of the 2 pulleys. Thank you. So we have the cable ran. Sometimes it can be easier for you to pull this pulley out again to run the cable because it goes down the pipe and down. It's whatever you want to do. The next step, the 3 last bolts like this, look like this, with the 3 6-inch pulleys. I like to put this pulley on first. I'm gonna take this, run it, so I don't have to run it through again. I'm gonna run it like this, up inside, and then I'm gonna take one of my bolts, put it through like that. And then you'll use this little slack later on. But that way you get it down to there. And then you'll put your washer and nut on there. And then I'll show you how to do the middle part. So let me get this on. Oh, and then you're gonna screw this in here too. So you're just gonna hand tighten it in. You screw it in as far as you want, and then this nut you tighten down, and that's what puts pressure against this frame piece to keep this locked in. So, actually we'll keep going. So we have this in like this. We have our nut on there, right? We're gonna put our nut on. Just to hand tighten, like I said, all of them hand tight until we're done. So this piece, you're gonna have these 2 6-inch pulleys. Then we're gonna use these frames right here. So one frame, you're gonna put the nut on with a washer, the bolt on with a washer, right? And you're gonna have 1 pulley on this side, okay? Then the other side, we're gonna do the same thing, okay? So we'll have like this, and I like to hold it up like this, that way they don't come out on me, right? So you're gonna be like this, have them in there. So hold them like this. Oops. Like this. Okay. So you have the basic. So this way we leave the other outside cap off so we can get the cables through. So you're gonna pull this cable down, right? You're gonna have some slack. So we're gonna put it on like this, right? So if you have somebody helping you, they can hold it for you. We put this back on. Or put this one on. Hand tight. Okay. Just so we have that top one locked in and won't come off on us when we're trying to install it, especially if you're by yourself. Okay, so now we have a bottom one, right? Well, we have the cable, right? Now it's attached to the base. It's attached there. It's gonna come up. So we're gonna push this bolt out a little bit, just enough to swing this out of the way. We're gonna put this over the top. Make sure it's in the groove. Back in, and then washer and nut on that. Now that we have this, we're going to go through. So now we're going to go through, tighten them all down. Then we're going to run it to make sure everything's good to go. All right. All right. Now everything installed, everything tightened. So you're going to have these, right? It's going to come with these. Obviously, you put them on the end of each cable. It comes with 2 extra little chains if you want to have space between your chain and the next carabiner. That way you can be farther away from the rack or the foot plate. The foot plate adjusts in and out. So they're just extras just for your options. It also comes with these little clips. They're set up at an angle so the plates won't come off. But if for some reason you really are worried about it, it comes with a pair of these to hold the plates onto the plate horns. So you'll put these on. All right, everything's running well. It goes up and down. You see, okay. There we go. Okay, so if you first install it and you feel a little bit of stickiness, what you're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna clean these off with some silicone, or wipe it down with a rag first, and then we're gonna put some silicone on there to make it run nice and smooth. There's gonna be some slack because it's not a selectorized unit, so there's gonna be some slack in the cable. That way it can come out, out to here before you start on your low rows and stuff. Just gives you more space. But once it's tight, right, you'll see it pulls that tight, and that'll lock in, and then you're good to go with this. The other thing too, if you have these pulleys on here, sometimes if the metal, like in the packaging or when you're building it, kind of gets bent a little bit, you can always put a flat edge or like the end of a hammer or something in here and kind of pry it a little bit away and separate it. If you hear it, the pulley hitting the metal, it's just an easy fix. As you can see, there's space in between, but every now and again you'll get one that maybe this little tiny piece from the bolt down gets smashed in or something. In shipping or when you're building it, and you can just pry that out a little bit, even a knife or something, and then it'll never touch again. You won't have to worry about it. It's just a housing to protect it. So everything's on, everything's good. So this is your high lat pull down, low row selectorized. But like I said, use some silicone on this. Don't use WD-40 because it'll gum it up if it gets dust on it. So wipe it down, silicone. Have somebody pull it down so this comes up off the ground, or you can pick it up, wipe down underneath as well. And then I would do that about every 6 months. If you have in your garage, maybe once a month, go through and clean them off. You can spray some silicone down inside your pulleys. Make sure everything's nice and good to go. We use 6-inch pulleys, the same as on our big lat pull down low row, on purpose, because you can see the amount of force on the cable, how the circle is bigger. So it doesn't kink as much as if you had a 4-inch, it's gonna kink it really quite a bit. That's gonna wear your cable down. We also use 1/4-inch, 4,000 plus pound test cables. So these cables should last you your entire life. With the 6-inch pulleys and the cables, this machine should last you forever. So everywhere there's a 180-degree turn, we use 6-inch pulleys. And then on the 90-degree turns, we use the 4-inch pulleys. So this should last you forever. Don't go with a cheaper company that's gonna have a 4-inch pulley and it's gonna kink, and you're gonna go through cables and you're gonna fray, and it's gonna be a big pain in the ass. So that's it for the video. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Follow us on Instagram for any more videos, or send us an email. Go to the website, Twitter, whatever you got. All right, thank you very much.